Good afternoon. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz. I'm joining you from Livestream.travel and the World Tourism Network here in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And with me today is actually the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Minister of Tourism from Ecuador. And this is the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Niels Olsen. And you also see, of course, my partner, our president for World Tourism Network, Dr. Peter Tarlow. He's also joining us from Guayaquil, and he will introduce the rest of his guests in Ecuador in just a minute. From my end, I wanted to say hello to everybody who is watching us now live or is here on our Zoom event. If you still wanted to join us on Zoom, you can go to worldtourismevents.com, worldtourismevents.com, and you see this listed right as the second event right now. I wanted to introduce some known participants we see here all the time. Moody Astudi from Indonesia. It must be very early for you. Thanks for joining us. And also Hakeem Ali from Bangladesh. He has been on many of our events before. Anyways, we're going to start in just a minute here. We're waiting actually for the Honorable Minister to connect, and we're going to give the microphone to Peter. Those that are joining us on Facebook, on eTurbo News, you can see us on any page. Just stay tuned. We're going to start our discussion. Or if you miss any of this part, you can always go back and click on archive on World Tourism Network or on eTurbo News and go to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch this after the event. Without further delay, I'm going to give the microphone to Dr. Peter Tarlow, who's today not joining us from Texas, but from Guayaquil in beautiful Ecuador. Welcome, Peter.
Yeah. First of all, good evening to everyone. Actually, I'm with my colleague over here in Ecuador, Patricio Tamariz. The minister will be joining us second. We're not in Guayaquil. We're right now in Bahia, which is a beautiful resort town in Ecuador. As a matter of fact, you can hear the ocean behind us. We're live right on the ocean. So this is really exciting. Just one rule, when the minister will be interviewing him, if you have any questions, please write the questions, and Thomas Steinmetz will then be able to read the questions as we get them. But we will not be taking oral questions, only written questions this time. This is a real pleasure for me to be here. It's an absolutely beautiful country. And if you've never visited Ecuador, please do. And if you've ever wanted to be both in the northern and southern hemisphere, this is the place to do it. It's absolutely a great place to understand both Latin culture and also the culture from around the world. My colleague, Patricio Tamariz, is here. And I see the minister, Honorable Minister, is almost here. So I've never had the opportunity of meeting him before. I'm going to meet him Zoomatically, I guess would be the way of saying it. And I understand the Honorable Minister has studied both in the United States and Australia. He'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume his English is just great because of his experience in two English-speaking countries. So, Honorable Minister, welcome. Bienvenido. Thank you for having me in your country. This is a true pleasure. I've gotten to know people. I've been before in Quito. I've been now in Guayaquil and along the Ecuadorian coast. And you can hear the waves coming in beautiful Bahia. Tell us, one of the themes we'd like to talk about a little bit, of course, is Zoom. And Zoom, I'm sorry, it's COVID.
COVID is Zoom, Peter. You didn't know.
We've spoke right? About Zoom for so long. Let's not speak about Zoom.
I think we've all been Zoomed to death. But we'd like to talk a little bit about COVID and how is Ecuador dealing with COVID, and how and let's talk about some of the ways that Ecuador, like so much of the world, was put out of the game. How is Ecuador getting back in the game? So maybe first, Minister, you could tell us a little bit about who you are. I think you're probably one of the youngest tourism ministers in the world and probably one of the most handsome. So
thank you, Peter. You're being very, very kind and generous.
I think I'm old enough to be your grandfather.
That makes me old enough to be your father. So see, we're in there.
No, thank you so much,
But
guys,
it's
for having me. Hola, Patricio. So good to see you here. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in Guayaquil. Right now, I'm in Quito. It's super cold, so I'm very jealous that you guys are in Bahia, in front of the ocean, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna be in Manta on Friday, so hopefully, I might see you there.
Well, I'll be back in the United States, but maybe you'll see Patricio there. But
right.
I've had a really wonderful week here in Ecuador, and you have a really beautiful country. And maybe we should start off just telling people a little bit about what Ecuador has to offer, because there's so much in Ecuador, and it's really a great country. So let's talk a little bit about Ecuador.
Yeah, definitely. That's my favorite topic. All right. So, well, Ecuador, very small country if you compare it to other countries in the region. We have four regions, which are the lowlands, the highlands, the Amazon rainforest, and the Galapagos Islands. I think, like, so many people ask me what makes Ecuador unique and different from other countries in the region. And I really think, besides the diversity in our wildlife and our amazing cuisine, I think people from Ecuador are very hospitable, and they really make visitors feel like at home. And Ecuador, we still have, because I think we are still like that off the beaten trail destination, we can provide what the international market is looking for, which are authentic and unique experiences in their travels. Ecuador, for many years, it has been, as I said before, off the trails. So what used to be a negative side, now it has become a positive side, that we can provide those authentic and unique experiences in our country. So, of course, the pandemic hit us really hard as it happened worldwide. We lost we lost over 120,000 jobs in the tourism industry. We lost over $500 million to be injected in our economy. We used to be the third contributor to Ecuador's GDP. Now we in the pandemic we lost a lot of positions. We became probably the 10th or 12th industry contributor to our GDP. Now we are in position number 5. So we still have a long way to go to reach the third place, or why not the first or the second? There's a lot of work to do at the moment. We have executed different actions. We just came from the United States, visiting 5 different cities in only 4 days. We went with 16 tour operators and hoteliers from Ecuador to meet with over 200 travel agents, which we educated about the destination as well. So there's a lot of things going on in the Ministry of Tourism, but that's something that keeps me super excited about the future.
If I could support as a foreigner what you said about hospitality, I will tell you, people here are absolutely wonderful. And the hardest thing about going home on Thursday morning is when I get home, my wife is going to make me take out the garbage. But here in Ecuador, I feel like I'm a king. So everyone treats me, I don't think I've opened the door for myself for the whole week I'm here. People are really kind and gentle and really lovely. So, Minister, I absolutely agree with you. That's one of the nicest things about Ecuador. There are lots of wonderful things, but that's really one of the nicest things.
Peter, you are in Manabí. I think Manabí has the best cuisine in Ecuador.
Yes.
So you must be being really happy with the food over there. Hopefully, Patricia, I'll show you the best places.
Yeah, we're going to have some peanut soup tonight.
Nice.
Yes, which I think is also in Indonesia. People have a lot of peanuts. Certainly, both Guayaquil in Quito have wonderful things for people who are looking for big cities. And maybe you can just tell us a little bit, what are some of the key attractions of Guayaquil, some of the key attractions of Quito? They're very different cities.
Yeah, of course. So very different cities, and I think that's the magic of Ecuador, because wherever you go, you'll find a different culture. You'll find different cuisine. You'll find different architecture. But in every city, you'll find very hospitable people, which is amazing. So regarding Guayaquil, you have beautiful attractions such as the Cerro Santa Ana or the Boardwalk, or as we call it, the Malecón 2000. That's something that I think Guayaquil is thriving is with the local cuisine that we call them huecas. There's a new street called Calle Panama, which is full of amazing young chefs who are showcasing their cuisine in amazing ways. And it's more of a street food, whereas in Quito, you have, of course, the Catedral, so many beautiful places, but then the cuisine, it's a different type of cuisine. It's more kind of contemporary. You have a little bit of fine dining, but it's a complete different vibe that you find in Guayaquil. And then you have Cuenca, which is it's one of the most beautiful cities all over Latin America as well. Again, a complete different architecture. People are so friendly in Cuenca. Food is amazing. They have a thriving hospitality scene with new restaurants opening every month. You have new hotels opening as well. So I think they're doing an amazing job as well.
So, Mr. Minister, what you're telling us, before we come to Ecuador, we should go on a diet and lose 5 or 6 pounds, so that when we come here, we can gain the 5 pounds back.
Or you can go on a diet after your trip to Ecuador.
Maybe both.
or maybe you have to do both.
Yeah,
I mean, there are many trendy places. I've been only to Quito, so I'm not an expert on Ecuador, but I remember when I was in Quito, there's so many trendy places. You probably know, I stayed at the JW Marriott, and you just walk around and you have so many different restaurants and places to go. And it's the old town is just absolutely amazing. The center of the town in Quito, like no other capital I've ever seen, has so much history and so much culture. It's really an amazing place. And what is really for Americans is a great thing. You don't have to change your money because it's all US dollars, right?
Exactly. And you have for the States, which is our priority market at the moment. So we have direct flights with New York, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. And now we are hearing from some of the meetings that we're having with different airlines, the possibility of connecting the West Coast of the United States with Ecuador, which that's going to be amazing news in the future. We're crossing fingers. We create the demand for this to happen in sometime in 2022.
That's really wonderful. Good news. So let's go back a little bit to COVID. I know that COVID hurt Ecuador as it hurt much of the world. What is Ecuador doing? People have been telling me, but it's better to hear from you. How is Ecuador working to recover? What is Ecuador doing to make sure that people are safe? Can people come here and not worry about COVID? What's the situation when it comes to it? Unfortunately, it's the #1 topic around the world.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So we have really amazing news about our vaccination program in Ecuador. So in December, so this month, we're going to have over 85% of the population of Ecuador vaccinated with at least 2 doses. So that's amazing news. Our numbers, vaccination numbers are doing amazing. We were one of the first countries in the region, in Central and South America, to have the whole tourism industry vaccinated. So people who work in the hospitality industry are already vaccinated. I think the government has done an amazing job controlling the pandemic. We have set a great example worldwide, and I think it's safe to say that Ecuador is again, a very safe destination to visit because of the vaccination numbers that we have, which are, just to give you an example, are better than the numbers in the United States at the moment. And when I say 85%, that's from kids 5 years and old and above or older.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, I certainly have been walking around lots of cities here in Ecuador, and I've had no fear of that. And people are very careful. One of the things I'm really surprised, and I say this as a compliment, is people are very serious about. You see people really take the rules very, very seriously, and very few people break the rules. And that's really a big compliment to Ecuador.
Yeah, that is true, Peter. If you go to a shopping center, if you just walk down the street, people are wearing their masks. Whereas in other countries, people sometimes outside, when they are outside, they're not wearing their mask. Just to give you an example. So people are taking the biosafety protocols very, very seriously, but this doesn't create a negative experience, just a safe experience to visitors coming to Ecuador. And then we have done other actions, such as we just about a month ago we handed in 5 articles in the Ley de Desarrollo Económico that we presented to the Congress, which gave very good incentives to the tourism industry. Which I'm just not gonna share this with you because I might bore you, but that's very good for the private sector in Ecuador. Then we're working with a nomad to launch a nomad visa in the next few weeks, and that's going to allow us to attract some of the 9 million remote workers that exist in the United States only. So they can be working from Ecuador with a salary paid by their American company, and they're going to be injecting their money to our local economy.
That's really great news to hear. And yes, you're absolutely right. I was recently, I went to buy a guayabera because I was in Guayaquil, and everyone told me, if you're in Guayaquil, you have to buy a guayabera. I didn't know that guayaberas came from Guayaquil. And everyone really was very careful when it came to COVID. So I think that's a really good thing. One suggestion, and maybe a problem that we're starting to see, is that the United States last week announced that you cannot come back to the United States unless you've had a COVID test in 24 hours before getting on the airplane. And that makes it a little bit difficult. My airplane leaves at 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. I have to make sure I have a COVID test at 12 o'clock to get the results back to be able to get on the plane that evening. So maybe it would be good if Ecuador could have rapid COVID testing around the country to kind of help people, or at least at the major airports, because that's not your fault. That's the United States is doing it, but it's made life very difficult.
Yeah, I know. I know we have
we don't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you well.
All right.
I don't know if me or...
So yes, travelers, I think if we want to keep traveling, we definitely have to make some compromises at the moment. And we're still figuring out how to get along this pandemic. So yeah, it's a drawback for sure. But as I said before, there's some of the compromises that we need to make so we continue traveling.
And of course, Minister, that is a global discussion we had had here at World Tourism Network for quite some time in regards to uniforming international requirement for COVID. And I mean, from what I can see, very little has been done. World Tourism Organization has lost leadership on this, not coordinating with the World Health Organization and many others. How do you see the role for Ecuador to play in this international communication? When I look at your Minister Bartlett from Jamaica, for example, he has been going all over the world trying to make a difference and work on this. So did the Minister of Tourism from Saudi Arabia recently. What are Ecuador's plans to fit into this policy, international policy making on uniformed regulations?
So we will definitely support what the international tourism trade proposes, but in Ecuador, the Minister of Health is the professional or the minister in charge of handling the pandemic. So we will definitely support what she says. Of course, we always provide her with our feedback, and we let her know what the guidelines, what's the impact in the tourism sector. But yeah, I mean, we're not health professionals, so we have to support and we have to work together with the Minister of Health, so we control the pandemic as it should be.
And that's, of course, is the key thing you just said. Tourism are not health professionals, but the industry depends on the health situation right now. So working together is really the key, and I'm glad you said that. I have a different question. What came in here?
We have somehow
I don't know if you know
volume,
Peter,
which is why.
I think hang on, sorry. I had a different question here from someone joining us on Hawaii News Online. That's one of our publications here locally in Honolulu. And they wanted to know about surfing in Ecuador.
Can you hear me?
I don't know a thing about surfing in Ecuador. So I'm wondering if surfing, but I saw some pictures when I Googled it, yeah.
No, yeah, we have amazing surfing spots. So first of all, hello, hi, and very glad you're connecting to this conversation from Hawaii. We have amazing surfing spots. One of them is Montañita, for example, which is a surfing town. It has an amazing vibe, amazing cuisine, and amazing waves, of course. So this is called Montañita, and it's about 3-hour drive from Guayaquil International Airport. And then you have, of course, the Galapagos Islands, which is, they have like dozens of surfing spots with amazing waves combined with the wildlife. So definitely, if you want to come surfing to Ecuador, definitely come visit us.
Wow. Okay, that's good to hear. And I mean, Ecuador is a very different space. How long would you recommend someone should calculate to visit Ecuador for? And what would be a good combination? Because you have the city, you have Galapagos, and now you said you had surfing. So what would be like a standard plan for a traveler to explore Ecuador?
Well, the correct time and the correct suggestion that I can give you is basically stay as much as you can.
Right.
Sorry, I can hear an echo for some reason. Just
I think it may be, I muted Peter because it looks like he has some problems. So sorry about that.
No worries. So I just want to make clear for everyone joining this conversation, that's an issue with Peter's phone, not Ecuador's connectivity. We have amazing connectivity.
We have a new computer. We don't know what happened here.
Peter, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, I have to mute him again. No, you cannot shut this guy up.
Because I'm trying to sell the Nomad visa to international travelers, and one of the competitive advantages that we have in Ecuador is the connectivity. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that the connectivity in Ecuador is very good. Anyway, going back to your question, Jürgen, can you? I'm so sorry, I forgot what you asked.
Yeah, no. I said, what would be a standard package? How long would someone wanted to stay in Ecuador to explore?
So, as I responded before, as much time as you can. Ecuador, although it's a very small country, many people think of Ecuador as Latin America in a nutshell, because we have the Amazon rainforest, the Galapagos Islands, which are completely unique destination that you cannot find anywhere in the world. Then you have the beautiful highlands with the volcanoes, the historic farms, the historic town with the cathedrals and the architecture. And then Guayaquil, which is a very upbeat city, the commercial city of Ecuador, and with the street food and the huecas. So it's a tough question because if you have the lowlands, you have the beaches as well, which are absolutely beautiful. As Montañita, surfing town. Then you have Bahia, where Patricio and Steve are at the moment. Canoa, so many beautiful places. It would be Ecuador deserves at least 10 days, at least. But of course, if you can stay for a long, I would always recommend visitors to stay for a longer period of time and really dive in the destination.
No,
I see that our friend Patricio Tamariz is here. He's another Ecuadorian, and maybe he'd like to ask a question to the minister. That would be really nice.
Well, first of all, I've done it already. I've congratulated Niels. Niels is a person with so much energy. He's doing in the first couple of months since May. I think there's been the actions that he has done has been more than the last 4 years that a minister did. And the thing that I like the most is that he's working on the base of things, on the center, the column of what we need. And he's working on the new law of tourism. And that law of tourism is going to be really, really, I think, something that'll take us to another level. Niels, talk a little bit about that, and un abrazo, mano.
Gracias, Patricio. No, yeah, so we are working. The first thing that we did at the minister is to set a committee to work on the new tourism law for Ecuador. The one that we have at the moment, it has over 20 years. So it's not contemporary. It doesn't respond to Ecuador's reality and to the industry at the moment. So one of the things that excites me the most is to be able to build a new entity out of this law, which is going to be something called Promo Ecuador, which is going to be the entity that is going to be in charge of promoting Ecuador in our key markets. There's this budget that the Ecuadorian government has that comes from the international air tickets that at the moment we're not getting in the Minister of Tourism because the law doesn't allow this to happen. So we're crossing fingers that once this law passes in Congress, we're going to be able to do this and finally have the budget that our minister, our industry deserves.
That's really good news. And I think that people from around the world, this is my 4th or 5th time to Ecuador. So I can tell people that if Ecuador can really promote itself, I would kind of disagree with the minister. I don't think you can do it in 10 days. I think if you really want to see Ecuador, you need to come for at least 3 weeks. So,
well, I said, to be fair, I said minimum 10 days.
Yes, but I'm going to make it minimum 3 weeks because by the time you do the beaches, you do Guayaquil, and we didn't speak about the beautiful, beautiful classical, the center of Quito and the churches. And I'm not a Catholic, but wow. I don't think you have to be a Catholic to appreciate how beautiful those churches are. And then the whole jungle experience and the Galapagos, you can't do it in less than 3 weeks. So
I know, it's minimum 10 days. I don't want to put off people saying that they're not coming to Ecuador because they have to come for 3 weeks. But I was just in Coca. Yes. I went to the Napo, to the Yasuni National Park, and that's absolutely beautiful as well. I was in Bahia 2 months ago, eating a very street food, and in this place called Iche, which is absolutely beautiful as well. And then of course Quito with the cathedrals, churches, the basilic. I don't know. It's Ecuador. It's like an explosion of senses.
Yes, I think that's a fair.
Taste, with your view, everything. You have so many different impulsos. I don't know how to say it in English.
The thing that's interesting what Niels is saying right now, our minister, is that and Peter, the colonial center of Quito is the best preserved and largest colonial center of Latin America. And that's important. And I mean, it's incredible to see all the ancient Indian art there mixed with the colonial Spanish, essence. It's really, really beautiful. And what's the best thing is that Ecuador is conserving it, and it's conserving the Galapagos too. Galapagos is in one of the best states of conservation for the last 100 years. Why? Because they had many invasive species. And right now, the giant tortoise population is rebounding back. So there's a lot of good things that the government is doing. And we believe that one day, and I know Niels knows that for sure, that tourism will beat out petroleum and other industry non-sustainable strategic sectors. It will be, I think, one of the first ones that will produce for Ecuador for their sustainability.
Minister, I'd like to bring a good friend into the conversation. I hope she doesn't mind. Moody Astudi, she's joining us from Jakarta, Indonesia. And I know that her husband, Faisal Hashim, actually inspired me to go and visit Ecuador. He loved Ecuador and the Galapagos. Is Ecuador still so popular in Indonesia, Moody? I know you have the surfing in common for sure, but and you have a lot of cultural side in Indonesia. How popular is Ecuador in Indonesia? You have to unmute yourself, otherwise we wouldn't know what you're saying.
I was having a hard time.
Much popular. Very much popular, especially.
I'm sorry.
Have marine association. It's called Indonesia Tourism Marine Business. So it's very much popular, and I'm looking forward to go there again.
Bienvenida, Muri. We expect you with open arms in Ecuador.
No, it's really a wonderful place to visit when you go to Galapagos. And I know I'm looking at the clock here. I mean, we would like to talk to you forever, but I was told you only have 20 minutes. So you just cut me off, and if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm having so much fun speaking to you guys, but I have to go out for a dinner. So I might have to disconnect in a second.
No, not a problem. But if you do, and I have to tell you, it's been really wonderful to have you here on eTurbo News and our World Tourism Network. And we're going to make sure everyone knows and gets to know Ecuador and gets to know you. And if I would have known you're not wearing a suit and a tie, this is the very first time Peter talked me into wearing a suit and a tie. I'm sweating.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
And he said, you're talking to the minister and you got to dress up. So I did this just for you.
I'm so sorry they made you dress up for me. Please don't do that.
Don't feel guilty now.
And I just realized Patricio and Steve, they are also dressed up. Thank you so much, guys. I'm honored.
And
But
actually,
jeans and a t-shirt, that's perfectly fine.
all right, it's good for Jürgen once in a while to get dressed up. So I'm the old guy who makes him do that.
Well, you're probably wearing shorts underneath the camera.
No, but we are right on the beach. You can hear the waves coming onto the beach. Mr. Minister, thank you for having me in your country. And I'm looking forward to the next time I come back. I've been having meetings across Ecuador with various parts along the beach here and the various communities in this part of the country on how we can make tourism even better. And as you know, I work in the world of tourism around the world. And one of the things we're working with is major cities in Ecuador of making these cities some of the safest cities in the world. So I hope one of these days I'll get to see you, not on Zoom, but in real life. And that I'll be able to
without a suit.
That is true. I promise. I promise. I'll be in jeans and a t-shirt.
Great. No, thank you so much, you guys, for having me. And Steve, Ecuador is your home. So if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. Patricia is a very good friend of mine. And I'm super thankful with you, Jürgen, for inviting me to this conversation. It's been such a pleasure to share with what we are doing in Ecuador. So thank you very much for the platform, and I look forward to meeting you in person very, very soon here in Ecuador.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, Minister, and muchas gracias for all the time you spent with us. And we can do this anytime you're ready. Just let us know.
Thank you so much.
And for
buenas noches.
Buenas noches. And for everyone else who's watching us and want to watch this again, simply join us on our YouTube or go to eTurbo News anytime in the next 24 hours or even 48 hours till Friday. And we're going to repeat this session again and again so you can get a little bit more, become a little bit more hungry to actually visit Ecuador. Also, for those that wanted to know more about Hawaii, our home here, we have a session on Friday live with experts about the future of the travel and tourism industry right here in the Aloha state. So if you want to join this one, just go to worldtourismevents.com. You can sign up and also be part of the live audience. For everyone else, and I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you're not a member yet of the World Tourism Network, please become a member. There's a lot more we can do and will do. We're also going to welcome you to our various WhatsApp groups to get involved. Just go to WTN.travel and click on join, WTN.travel. And you can be part of the World Tourism Network. But here from Hawaii, I can only say aloha, muchas gracias to Ecuador. And Peter, you have a good trip home when you go, but enjoy your dinner tonight. And
yes, I'll be thinking of it, and I hope that everyone eventually comes to get to join me here in Ecuador. It's just a beautiful country, and let's hope that the world moves on from some of the new problems with COVID, because we need a break. We all need a little bit of a rest.
And Patricia, thank you very much for joining us also from Ecuador, and everyone else. Good night and aloha.
Good night.
Bye-bye.